Hello everyone, the Snowman here, and I'm very excited because the draws are officially out for the first Grand Slam of the 2020 tennis season. It is the Australian Open, and in this video I will be doing my men's draw preview. Please check out my women's preview as well if you're interested. But yeah, let's dive into this men's draw for the first big tournament of the new tennis year. So as we pull up the top section of the draw here, a quick note, 3 names that will not be competing at the Australian Open. No Juan Martín del Potro, he's still getting over a knee injury. Also Andy Murray, who played a handful of tournaments last year, he's out due to a minor pelvic injury. And also more recently, the young Aussie Alex de Minaur pulled out with an abdominal injury. So no Delpo, Murray, or de Minaur, but we do have the number 1 player in the world, the 1 seed here in Section 1, Rafa Nadal, who made more history last year, becoming his 5th season, ending the year as the number 1 player, and he became the oldest ATP player to ever finish the year number 1 at 33 years of age. Also added 2 more Grand Slam titles to his trophy case, another at the French Open, one at the US Open. So now, for those keeping track, Federer all-time 20 Grand Slams, Nadal 19, Djokovic 16. Could this be the year that Nadal passes Fed in total Grand Slams? That's on the line. Also on the line, Nadal can be the first men's player in the Open era to win each major twice. So he's got a lot of things here. It's a somewhat challenging draw for Rafa. Could see his ATP Cup teammate and compatriot Pablo Carreño Busta in the 3rd round. I think the biggest challenge, though, for Rafa could be Nick Kyrgios, the 23 seed, the heart and soul of Team Australia at that ATP Cup last week. So different in the team environment. Kyrgios seems to have a maturity and a poise when he is around other guys, and I think he's a great leader and teammate. Such a stark contrast from when he plays just alone on the tour. Nadal does not want to see Nick, though, in the round of 16. They had a very entertaining match at Wimbledon last year. Nadal won that, but Nick can take the racket out of your hands with his serve, and he's in pretty good form right now. So I think Kyrgios Nadal would be a lot of fun. Khachanov, Monfils, and Thiem all in this quarter as well. But Dami has never been past the 4th round of the Aussie Open. Dominic Thiem has never. So, I don't even think Nadal will probably have to go through teams, so that's why I don't think it's as challenging as some people think. Kevin Anderson, though, also a dangerous floater. The 2-time Grand Slam finalist, had a very abbreviated 2019 season, underwent season-ending knee surgery, so he's still knocking off the rust. Can make a run, though. A second-round matchup between him and Taylor Fritz would be very captivating. In section number 2, then, the favorite will be the number 4 seed Russian Daniil Medvedev, who kind of ran out of gas at the end of last season, ended 2019 on a 4-match losing streak, but who can blame him? It was the summer of Medvedev last year. He made 6 consecutive finals, winning titles in Cincinnati, St. Petersburg, and Shanghai. Just absolutely took over the scene. You got to figure his time is coming soon on the grandstand stage. A menace on all surfaces, but especially on hard courts with his flat ground strokes. He played Djokovic relatively tight in Melbourne last year, losing in 4 eventually. Won't be a cakewalk, though, for Medvedev. First-round matchup against the powerful American big Francis Tiafoe. And watch out for the 15 seed here, Stan Wawrinka. At this point, he's 100% recovered from that knee injury over a year ago. Final in Antwerp late last season for Stan, where he lost to Andy Murray. It was a vintage performance, though, against Djokovic at the US Open last year for Stan. Simply overpowered the Serbian, and Stan knows that the clock is ticking. He's, 34 years old. He knows he doesn't have too many of these opportunities left, so I just got this feeling that Stan is going to make either a Grand Slam semifinal or maybe even a final run at some point this season. Why not down under? We also have the 7th seed, Alexander Zverev, who is off to a very inauspicious start to 2020. 0-3 at the ATP Cup, and the double fault problems that plagued him last year seem to have followed him into the new year. Zverev, 31 double faults in 3 matches thus far. He had 17, you might remember, in the round of 16 loss to Diego Schwartzman last year. So just has to clean that up. Confidence seems to be the ongoing issue, which is so perplexing because Zverev seems like one of the coolest, most confident, self-assured guys off of the court, friends with a lot of the top players on the tour. So I don't know. He's still yet, though, to make the semifinal of a Grand Slam, carry over some of that Masters 1000 success onto the major stage. Maybe lurking in the round of 16 for Zverev, Andrei Rublev, who already has a title this year in Doha, and he is soaring up the ranks to number 18. It's a wide open section here. And in the bottom half, this is section 3. Personally, I believe that Roger Federer has the toughest draw for the big three members. You know, Joker is in his half. We'll get to Novak Djokovic in a sec because he's in section 4, but Stevie Johnson for Fed in the first round, then potentially Hubert Hurkacz in the third round. And Hubie, the Pole, has been playing some excellent tennis. Still hasn't lost in 2020. He was 3-0 at the ATP Cup. Beat Dominic Thiem, Borna Coric, and Diego Schwartzman. He is a defensive artist, if you don't know his game that well. Can absolutely put his half of the court under lock and key when he wants to. But I still like Fed's chances. The 3 seed, he was one of the only top players to opt out of the ATP Cup. He wanted to kind of rest, relax, spend a couple more extra weeks with his family, especially since he went on an exhibition tour in late November last year with Sasha Zverev. That ate away some vacation time away from Fed. So I think that's smart. I don't think he'll mind that he hasn't played yet. He's hopefully going to be rested, have some energy and vigor to his game. His win over Djokovic, though, in London at the ATP Finals probably give him a confidence boost heading into this. Served off the charts in that match. Played uber aggressively, and I expect much of the same game plan in Melbourne. I don't anticipate another shock upset like he had last year at the Aussie Open, losing to Stefanos Tsitsipas in the round of 16. He was 0 for 12 on break points in that match. I would expect him to get through this section, but he's got to be careful. Also, the number 8 player in the world, Matteo Berrettini, the 2019 Most Improved Player of the Year, is lurking too. Finally, in section 4, we get to the number 2 player in the world, Novak Djokovic, the record 7-time Australian Open champion. He's also the defending title holder in Melbourne, and he is the heavy favorite for this entire event. The odds basically say it is him versus the field, and that's because you look at his challengers. Yes, Federer, Medvedev have a chance of defeating him, but the other top favorite is Rafa Nadal, and Djokovic has owned Nadal on hard courts as of late. Novak has won the last 19 sets that him and Nadal have played on hard court, including at the ATP Cup last week. Nadal hasn't beat Joker on hard court since the 2013 US Open final. The Australian Open final last year wasn't close. That was, 6-3, 6-2, 6-3. Djokovic called that maybe the most comprehensive match he's ever played in his career. So Joker, he looks to be in form, has already led Team Serbia to the ATP Cup title last week. He was 6-0 in singles in that event, taking out 3 other top 10 players. Can't stress it enough. Djokovic is a massive favorite for this entire tournament. He is going to see Jan-Lennard Struff in the first round. Could also see fellow Serb Dusan Lajovic in the round of 16. Should be no trouble for him, but the other half is intriguing in section 4. I'm putting the reigning ATP Finals champ and 6 seed Stefanos Tsitsipas on upset alert because the 32 seed Milos Raonic, one of the scarier highly seeded players at this event. We know he gets injured a ton, but in January when he's fresh, he can knock off anyone, defending a lot of points from a quarterfinal run last year where he beat Nick Kyrgios, Stan Wawrinka, and Sasha Zverev. We know about his mammoth serve, his ground strokes. Raonic can definitely take out Tsitsipas if everything's clicking. Marin Cilic, another X factor then. Cilic had a poor 2019. Just 22-19 was his record. Ranking took a big dip. He was number 7 at this time last year, but I don't think any of the seeded players want to see Cilic. And we've also got a fun first-round matchup here between 2 Spaniards. That is Roberto Bautista Agut against Feliciano Lopez. Bautista Agut had a top 10 season last year, defeating Djokovic a couple of times, and he was also, like Djokovic, 6-0 at the ATP Cup in singles, so he'll have a chance, but again, the heavy favorite is Novak Djokovic. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the men's draw. Please comment, let me know who you've got winning, if you think anyone can knock off Novak Djokovic. And yeah, I'm just really excited. So happy that tennis is back. And please check out my women's draw preview as well. But thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media. Give me a thumbs up. And thanks a lot. Cheers.